Britain's Starmer heads to China as Western alliances face strain. Trump warns of bad things if Republicans lose midterms. SpaceX weighs June 2026 IPO at $1.5 trillion valuation, FT. Scandal tests Peru's China ties as U.S. scrutiny intensifies. Israel recovers last hostage body from Gaza, paving way for crossing to open. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is due to arrive in Beijing on Wednesday evening for a visit aimed at strengthening political and business ties with China, as relations between Western countries and the United States grow more uncertain. Speaking aboard his flight, Starmer said Britain cannot ignore the economic opportunities offered by China, the world's second-largest economy, while remaining alert to security concerns. He said engagement with Beijing is in the UK's national interest and described the trip as an important step toward making progress in bilateral relations. The visit marks the first by a British Prime Minister since 2018 and could signal a shift after years of strained ties over issues including Hong Kong, China's support for Russia in the Ukraine war, and espionage allegations by British security services. For China, the trip offers an opportunity to present itself as a stable and reliable partner amid global uncertainty. It comes as Western nations increase diplomatic engagement with Beijing, partly in response to unpredictable U.S. policies. U.S. President Donald Trump has warned of very bad things if Republicans lose control of Congress in November's midterm elections, as he began a nationwide campaign push focused on the economy. Speaking at a rally in Iowa, Trump urged voters to help Republicans retain majorities in both the Senate and the House, despite low approval ratings. He said a midterm defeat would put key policies, including tax cuts, at risk. The rally came amid unrest in neighboring Minnesota, where 2 people have died this month during an immigration crackdown. Trump said earlier he would seek to de-escalate tensions after federal agents fatally shot a nurse in Minneapolis, but he largely avoided the issue during his speech. The White House says Trump will make weekly campaign trips ahead of the midterms, elections in which U.S. presidents have historically faced losses. His team has increasingly emphasized the economy, as polls show growing voter frustration over the cost of living. At the rally, Trump repeated claims that the United States is entering a golden age and insisted prices are falling. However, he acknowledged that persuading voters could be difficult. Elon Musk's SpaceX is considering a possible initial public offering as early as mid-June, with plans to raise up to $50 billion at an estimated valuation of around $1.5 trillion, according to a report by the Financial Times. Reuters has not independently verified the report, and SpaceX has not commented. If the plans go ahead, the listing would be the largest IPO in history by deal size, surpassing Saudi Aramco's $29 billion flotation in 2019, which valued the company at about $1.7 trillion. Aramco remains the only company to have completed an IPO with a valuation above $1 trillion. Elon Musk has previously favored keeping SpaceX private. However, sources familiar with the matter say the company's rapidly rising valuation and the success of its Starlink satellite internet business may have driven a change in strategy. SpaceX is reported to be lining up 4 major Wall Street banks to lead the offering. Its chief financial officer, Brett Johnson, has also held discussions with existing private investors since December about a potential public listing, possibly in 2026. A political scandal involving undisclosed meetings between Peru's acting president and a Chinese businessman has drawn renewed attention to the country's close ties with China, amid growing scrutiny from the United States over Beijing's influence in Latin America. Acting President José Gerri, who took office in October after the removal of former President Dina Boluarte, has acknowledged holding 3 meetings between December and January with businessman Zhihua Yang. Gerri has denied any wrongdoing. Yang owns several Chinese import businesses in Peru and holds a concession for an energy project. He has also been mentioned in previous congressional investigations over alleged links to Chinese companies suspected of corruption. The controversy, dubbed Chiffergate by local media, has prompted opposition lawmakers to file impeachment motions against Gerri. Peru's public prosecutor has opened a preliminary investigation into alleged influence peddling, which the president denies. Analysts say the case comes at a sensitive time, as the United States steps up efforts to limit China's growing economic footprint in the region. Peru is one of the world's leading copper exporters and a key destination for Chinese investment. Israel's military says it has recovered the remains of the last remaining Israeli hostage held in Gaza, a move that fulfills a key condition in the initial phase of US President Donald Trump's plan to end the war in the territory. The remains of police officer Ran Gavili, who had been held in Gaza for more than 840 days, have been identified and will be returned to Israel for burial, the military said on Monday. Gavili was killed during Hamas's attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023, which triggered Israel's prolonged military offensive in Gaza. The recovery could clear the way for a limited reopening of the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt, the enclave's main gateway to the outside world. A US-backed Palestinian technocratic committee set up to administer Gaza has said the crossing is expected to open this week, though Israeli officials have not confirmed a timeline. Israeli television footage showed soldiers at the recovery site in Gaza, standing arm in arm and singing a song expressing Jewish hope and faith.